Why money won't make you truly happy. Let's talk about mindset, money, investments, 9-to-5 jobs, business, and everything in between. If I had to describe what we do in one word, I would definitely use the word value. Money is a very important topic. Without money, you wouldn't be able to operate and make significant progress, especially in today's society. Essentially, money fuels our economies and lives. Everyone wants money, even if most people wouldn't admit it. Dear viewers, if you appreciate the video and want to help us grow, we ask you to consider the idea of subscribing to our channel and making a donation to support us. Your support is essential for us and will allow us to continue creating interesting and useful content for you. You can do it here below, through the appropriate buttons, subscribe, and thanks. Deep down, everyone wants it. I'm pretty sure that if someone offered you $100 right now, with no conditions, almost all of you would take it without hesitation. However, if you were the exception, comment below why you wouldn't take that free money. Apart from the debate on free money, in this episode, we'll talk about why getting that money might not make you as happy as you think. Before we get into the topic, as always, give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. A 2010 Princeton University study showed that there is actually a small correlation between money and happiness, but it's not what you might initially think. The study showed that people's happiness revolved around an income of about $75,000 a year. So people who earned $75,000 a year reported being happy and satisfied with their life situation. However, the more money they earned, they didn't report any greater degree of happiness. The study also showed that people who earned less than $75,000 a year were unhappier, and the less they earned, the unhappier they were. So, here's the question. Does money equal happiness? Well, according to this study, apparently yes. Now that we know that money can actually make you happy, at least to some extent, does it mean we should all try to earn $75,000 a year? And what about those who want to earn more? Let's take a look. Will you feel disappointed when you have the money? There are countless stories of millionaires who have worked their whole lives to get where they are now. We see them on TV, and you might even know some in person. These people are successful CEOs, managers, celebrities, athletes, founders, and so on. Many of them are extremely wealthy and many live lives that an average person can only dream of. But you might be surprised to learn that some of them are not happy with their lives. It turns out that achieving your goals, making a ton of money, buying expensive luxuries, and having the means to go on vacation anywhere in the world doesn't equal happiness for them. In fact, some of them say they are extremely disappointed. The reason is quite simple. Having all that money isn't as great as it seems. They thought all their problems would be solved once they became millionaires and that they would live happily ever after. But then they discovered that's not how life works. In fact, no matter how many possessions you can have, those things become very boring very quickly. And almost all rich people agree on this. Money doesn't make you happy. Most of us think that money has this superpower and that it will immediately solve all our problems, but it doesn't. For example, you buy your first Lamborghini, you feel great, you drive it everywhere and show it off. But do you really think that's all there is to it? Obviously not. You still have problems and responsibilities, that's life. What's the solution? Listen, I'm not saying money isn't necessary. In fact, I think we can all agree that being worth $1 million is much better than being worth $10,000. But that's not the point, and most people miss it. The overlooked factor is the purpose for which you want the money. Why do you want to be worth $1 million? As I told you, the purpose can't just be wanting money. In fact, money is nothing but a bunch of pieces of paper or numbers on a screen. If you do nothing with it, it's worth nothing, it has no value. So why do you want money? If you answer this question correctly, you'll completely eliminate the disappointment that seems imminent after reaching the desired amount. Why? To answer this question, we need to refer to philosophy and a topic that isn't as concrete as most topics on this channel. The fact is that we humans are never content, and this is actually a good thing. When you look at your life, what is it? Is it all about solving problems and wandering around serving society, or is it something more sentimental? If you ask me, there's no purpose in living unless you give your life a purpose. For example, your purpose might be to help others, advance technology, develop vaccines and cure diseases, or whatever you find important and fulfilling. The thing is, this isn't a mission or goal that's simply achieved because it never really ends. As long as you're alive, you'll chase something, you'll have goals and everything else, but it's all tied to your big purpose, self-improvement. It never ends because it's what fulfills us and gives us the will to get up in the morning. Imagine having no goals, purpose, mission, aspiration, nothing. What's life like? It's just a depressing path towards an inevitable decline. So, what does all this have to do with making money? Everything, simply. Many have as their life purpose just to make a certain amount of money, which as I told you will be disappointing sooner or later. But if you connect the goal of making money to a deeper purpose, you'll never feel disappointed by an end result simply because there isn't one. Does that make sense? I'll explain it better with an example. This is Mark. Mark is an excellent student and a regular worker. He wakes up at the same time every morning, works for a monthly salary, and has a barbecue with his friends every Sunday. Nothing exciting, this is basically his whole life. Mark has always wanted to make money because he thinks a big number in his bank account can solve his problems and finally make him happy forever. Then there's John. Look at him with his tie and shirt. John has a life similar to Mark's. He works for a big company in a small office in a busy big city. He wakes up at 8 in the morning, gets his coffee, and then goes to work exactly like Mark. John wants more money in his life. In fact, he has a very precise goal of making $1 million with the project he's working on. He's trying to develop a company that sells healthy dog food because he really loves animals. The key difference between Mark and John is that John also has a purpose, a more meaningful and profound reason for developing that company and making all that money. He wants to provide for his family and give them financial freedom and independence. He also wants to contribute to a charity that aims to reduce pollution and the extinction of rare animals, as he really loves animals. Who do you think will be deeply disappointed if they make an impressive amount of money? The correct answer is Mark. He'll find out that money isn't enough, as I explained to you earlier. The real importance of money. At this point, it might seem that I despise money or have a negative association with it. In fact, there are two types of people when it comes to the topic of money and happiness. On one side, there are the money haters. This type of behavior is the most unhealthy since they are so personally frustrated that they have negative associations with money, rich people, luxury items, whatever. They hate it. This part represents the majority of society and, for many, the first step towards financial freedom is to get rid of this poor mentality. Having a negative association with money is unhealthy in many ways and you don't want to fall into this category. On the other side, we have the money obsessed. These guys are so obsessed with money that their whole existence revolves around having money. That's all there is to it. They constantly show off their wealth, think that because they're rich they deserve special treatment, and believe that once they reach that big number, they'll achieve eternal happiness. Between these two sides, I can't relate to either of them. The best mindset, which only a small percentage reaches, is to look at things realistically and objectively. Money isn't something to be emotionally attached to and it's nothing but a tool. Money isn't the root of all evil, it's rather like a hammer. You can use the hammer to build a nice doghouse for your golden retriever or you can smash your neighbor's windows with it. It's 100% up to you what to do with it. Also, money doesn't really change people, it simply amplifies their true personality. When you don't have to be nice to anyone, a person's personality, positive or negative, is amplified by having more options. But the fact is that money can really be used to do great things. First, without money, society as we know it wouldn't exist. The desire to have a better life, achievable with more money, has fueled many to start businesses, create jobs, and solve problems. Technology has progressed a lot thanks to money. Money takes care of your family, gives you freedom and options to do what you want, when you want. So money is really important. In fact, I believe that chasing it is perfectly legitimate. Indeed, I think more people should do it. However, it's important not to get confused and start believing the idea that money can potentially solve all your problems. It won't happen, period. The purpose of this video is therefore to give you a deeper perspective on why we chase money and why it's important. While it's fundamental for a happy life, it's not the only essential ingredient. There are also purpose, missions, goals, and basically having an interesting life. So, here's what I want you to do. If you haven't already, I want you to write in your diary or on a piece of paper why you want money and make sure you don't forget it. I want you to clearly define your why and once and for all be 100% clear on what you're chasing and why. If you've watched our other videos on wealth creation, you already know the importance of knowing exactly what, why, and how you'll do your things. If you're a follower of this channel, you probably also know how this impacts achieving results, but also ensuring long-term happiness. If you haven't, watch our videos on wealth creation. We have practical tips and steps you can start using today to start making money. We're not selling you strange books or anything like that. Everything on our channel is of great value and completely free. In the comments, share your direct experience related to the topic covered today. We want to learn more and will gladly respond to any questions. Comment to let us know how we can improve. Your like would make us happy. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video.